lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-280-2144. 800-280-2144. 800-280-2144. Call right now. That number again is 800-280-2144.
It's time for Farm and Ranch Headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Darren Spearman reporting. U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Sonny Perdue has unveiled the farmers.gov. It's a new interactive one-stop website for producers who's maintained by the Department of Agriculture. Farmers.gov is now live and will have multiple features added over the coming months to allow producers and farmers to make appointments with USDA offices, also to file forms and apply for USDA programs. The website gathers together 3 agencies that comprise USDA's Farm Production and Conservation Mission. It includes the Farm Service Agency, the Natural Resources Conservation Service, NRCS, and the Risk Management Agency. All of those are on that same website and brings them all together as you plan your farming this year. So to get updated, go to farmers, that's capital FARMERS.gov.
Get season-long parasite control with prescription long-range eprinamectin. Long-range with eprinamectin controls parasites in cattle for up to 150 days with a single spring treatment. You get all the benefits of multiple dewormer applications without the labor. However you want to spend all that free time in the fall is up to you. Our strategic parasite control can help with earlier conception, resulting in additional weight and weaning. Ready to see the difference in your herd's performance? All backed by our satisfaction guarantee. Talk to your veterinarian or Beringer Ingelheim representative. And for full prescribing information, visit thelongrangelook.com. Federal law restricts this drug to use by or on the order of a licensed veterinarian. For use in cattle only, not for use in humans or other animal species. Keep out of reach of children. Not for use in breeding bulls or in calves less than 3 months of age. Not for use in female dairy cattle 20 months of age or older, including dry dairy cows or in veal calves. Post-injection site damage such as granulomas and necrosis can occur. These reactions have disappeared without treatment. Not for intravenous or intramuscular use. Do not use within 48 days of slaughter.
I'm Darren Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
Direct Connect to UCF, where students who attend the College of Central Florida and graduate with an AA or articulated AS degree are guaranteed admission to the University of Central Florida. Success coaches are ready and waiting to assist you in designing an educational plan that is right for you in any of their locations across Central Florida. Remember, connecting is easy and guaranteed. Find out more at directconnecttoUCF.com.
Well, the new year is upon us, and that means getting to those forgotten projects that you promised you would. So whether you're tackling a small honey-do list or building the Taj Mahal, Sunbelt Rentals will help you get the job done right with the right tools. From carpet cleaners to excavators, Sunbelt Rentals has what you need. So what are you waiting for? Get it done. Rent it now from Sunbelt Rentals, located on Highway 27, just a half mile east of I-75, or visit sunbeltrentals.com. Get it done. Rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals.
Some ways to deal with compacted soil in your garden. That's coming up on This Land of Ours.
Get season-long parasite control with prescription long-range eprinamectin. Long-range with eprinamectin controls parasites in cattle for up to 150 days with a single spring treatment. You get all the benefits of multiple dewormer applications without the labor. However you want to spend all that free time in the fall is up to you. Our strategic parasite control can help with earlier conception, resulting in additional weight and weaning. Ready to see the difference in your herd's performance? All backed by our satisfaction guarantee. Talk to your veterinarian or Beringer Ingelheim representative. And for full prescribing information, visit thelongrangelook.com. Federal law restricts this drug to use by or on the order of a licensed veterinarian. For use in cattle only, not for use in humans or other animal species. Keep out of reach of children. Not for use in breeding bulls or in calves less than 3 months of age. Not for use in female dairy cattle 20 months of age or older, including dry dairy cows or in veal calves. Post-injection site damage such as granulomas and necrosis can occur. These reactions have disappeared without treatment. Not for intravenous or intramuscular use. Do not use within 48 days of slaughter.
When faced with less than favorable gardening conditions, such as compacted soil, and turning the soil with a shovel or renting a tiller isn't an option, the good news is there are other possibilities, such as raised beds, lasagna gardens, aeration and cover crops, and double dig beds. Each will still require a bit of work and some time, and depending on which idea you go with, may require a little extra money. If soil is ridiculously compacted, like concrete, the double dig bed is probably your best and least expensive solution. Whichever of these options suits you, the important thing to remember from here on out is to not walk or drive in the garden area, as it will compact the soil again. Surround the planting space with paths and size the beds so that they can be harvested without stepping in them. And always use organic mulch, at least a 2-inch layer, which will feed the soil life and your plants. I'm Kathy Isom, Southeast AgNet.
AgPro will get you equipped for anything with a John Deere 5045E utility tractor. At only $159 per month, you can add the perfect attachment to dig it, plow it, grade it, anything. Request a quote at agproco.com and get equipped for anything. Offer ends 4/30/18, subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial. 20% down payment required. Taxes, freight, setup, and delivery charges could increase monthly payment. See dealer for details.
Tired of looking at stained carpets, dirty tile, or grout? Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Make your flooring look great again. Stains, pet odors, allergies. Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. From serving our country to serving our community. Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Residential and commercial. Their work is guaranteed along with your satisfaction. Check their website, silverbackrestoration.com. Shamrock Security Systems, 629-3223. Shamrock Security Systems is located here in Ocala, Florida. Shamrock Security Systems is a top-rated alarm company offering 24/7 monitoring, video surveillance, fire and flood protection. You'll sleep a little better once the job is done. Shamrock Security Systems for over 31 years. 629-3223. Get a 100% free quote from Shamrock Security, 629-3223.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Get up. Come on. All right, 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. Good Friday morning. It is Friday, April 20th, 2018. How are you anyway? It is Friday. It looks like it's going to be a good one. 62 degrees right now here at the studios of The Source. We are broadcasting live from the Paddock Mall just outside the WOCA commissary, where we're counting down the days until Chick-fil-A reopens. They got about 10 more days, I think. 10 more days, or 12 more days.
So looking forward to that.
Good morning, Robin. How you doing over there?
Good. Good morning, Larry. How are you?
Good. The weather looks like it's going to be nice today. 75, the expected high, partly cloudy skies. 61, the low tonight. Tomorrow look for mostly cloudy skies. 77 degrees tomorrow is the high. 63 the low Saturday night. Sunday, pretty much a repeat performance of Saturday. No mention of rain, just a lot of clouds during the weekend. But that rain will get here on Monday. What was that? On Monday, look for some rain and thunderstorms. Highs around 77. That rain should stick around through Tuesday. Wednesday, things will clear up and be back to where it is about today. So
nice.
Good morning again, partner.
Good morning.
Let me tell you what we're doing this morning.
Okay, I'm ready.
We got a good Friday, by the way.
Oh,
It's
excellent.
a very good Friday. We got some horrible news out of Trenton.
Yeah, that was horrible.
I'm sure you heard that story.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely terrible.
People are senseless. People are senseless. Hey, at 7:35, we'll talk about that. If you didn't hear, 2 deputies were shot in Trenton. This sickens me. They weren't even on a call. They were eating. They were shot through the window at a Chinese restaurant. I think Chinese restaurant. But the point is, oh my gosh, it just bothers me so much. All right, 7:35. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the schools. What do you want to say about this? The children or students are walking out of schools in some cases. I think in Marion County, who knows what they're going to do on their own. But officially, it's a day to have a reasonable discussion about what can be done to improve school safety. So I wanted to talk about that as well. 8:05, Galen Unold will be on with us. Of course, Galen gives us the information we need to know so we can go donate blood. But I have a fun topic for Galen just to kind of lighten up the Friday morning.
Okay, nice.
It is shopping sprees.
Oh, okay.
If you had a 1-minute shopping spree, if you had a 5-minute shopping spree, if you had a very short amount of time to do a shopping spree, and you could go to any store you wanted, which store would you go to and what would you grab?
Oh, isn't that something?
So
that is cool.
And I'll tell you about some people who've actually done this. And what they grabbed.
Nice.
All right. So we'll do that. 8:35 News Bites. That's when we turn off our opinions. We refrain from attempting to be entertaining. We'll just read the news. And if you're a news junkie, you love that segment, and especially probably because Robert and I pretty much, even though it's our voices, it's not our thoughts.
Yes.
Once in a while we giggle, but that's because some of these stories you can't help but giggle.
Right.
Jim George comes on at 9 to 5. We love Fridays because Jim George comes in on Fridays. He is the professor of the universe. He's got such a vast wealth of knowledge. We always pick his brain on gadgetry things, but he seems to have a grasp on all of God's creation. So
exactly.
It's just fun to have him in the studio. Let's see. At 10 o'clock, KJ Howe is coming on. Talking about Skyjack, a kidnap and ransom thriller novel.
Yep.
We'll find out about that. Chef Kevin Gillespie is a celebrity chef and a former Top Chef finalist and the owner of Redbeard Restaurants.
I guess because he has a red beard.
Does he?
Yeah, he does. He's got a red beard.
A chef with a beard.
Mustache.
This is the little,
I know. It's kind of.
You're picturing hair in your stew, right?
Right, exactly.
I don't know.
No, he better wear those hairnets and stuff.
Anyway, he's going to talk to us about grilling with one of my favorites, Vidalia onions.
Yeah.
Now there's something I can talk about.
They're all over the store now because they're in season.
But if you're grilling, those little hairs, they get burnt up.
Oh, that's still disgusting. Because one might survive, and then you see it, and then I don't eat anything. I just throw it.
Cutter Wood. Now, could that be a real name, Cutter Wood?
I know.
Cutter Wood is a poet. He's got a book called Love and Death in the Sunshine State. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Cutter Wood.
Exactly.
Yesterday we had Sky Storms in the studio.
Yes.
Sky is a pilot. Now there's an interesting fact, right? A guy named Sky, but he could have been a meteorologist too with the last name Storms.
Yeah, he could.
That's his real name, Sky Storms.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Well, anyway.
Like Sky King all those years ago, the helicopter thing.
I thought he was in a plane, Sky King.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He's in a plane.
Later on today, at 9:35, I think I'll probably do this. I have the 10 words in our language that don't really mean anything.
Okay.
10 words that don't really mean anything. We'll do that at 9:35. Just words. Just words we have. Words we have for no real reason. Hey, I wanted to tell you something. If you need a toilet,
okay. I know, this is great. I love this.
Marion County Utilities wants us to tell you that you can get a rebate if you buy a toilet. I'm not kidding.
Exactly.
If you replace an old high-flow toilet, high-flow, there you go. That's one that uses 3.5 gallons per flush or more.
How do you measure that?
Yeah, really. Honey, go outside with a bucket, won't you? I'm going to flush this thing. I'll disconnect this so you can do that. Okay, so if you have one of those high-flow toilets, and you replace it with a new high-efficiency toilet, one that uses 1.28 gallons per flush or less,
okay,
you could get a rebate.
Nice.
From the county. Toilets installed prior to 1995 typically use 3.5 gallons of water per flush.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to give you up to $100 credit for each toilet replaced and $80 for the second toilet.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
There
nice.
you go. There you go.
I like this. This is great.
Honey, we're replacing the toilets. Why? I got a deal from the county.
So is the county going to send their inspectors over to every toilet to make sure that it's...
That is my job. That's a job. I want that job. Hello, Mrs. Smith. I'm here to inspect your toilet.
Yeah, put that dipstick in there. We'll see.
Let's make sure this thing is really flushing. 1.28 gallons. 1.28, that's a weird number, huh?
Yeah, that is.
All right, hang in there. We've got news to do, and we'll be back. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. Some of James Comey's memos written before he was fired are now yours for the reading. In them, revelations.
President Trump had doubts within days of taking office about the National Security Advisor Mike Flynn. Comey said in the memos that the president expressed concerns about Flynn's judgment after Flynn hadn't told the president about a phone call with an unspecified foreign leader. The redacted 7 memos spanned 15 pages and were sent to Congress from the Justice Department last night.
Fox's Cheryl Casoni. The president tweeting around midnight the memos show there's no collusion. Police officers across the New York City area taking extra precautions after a threat by gang members.
At least one of them is tied to the MS-13 gang. It's believed to be retaliation for recent arrests of gang members.
Kayla Mamalek with Fox 5 New York. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Pros in the know start with Lowe's, because at Lowe's we have the brands pros know and trust to get the job done right, like Shark Bite. And those great brands also come with big savings by buying in bulk. Have a plumbing job coming up? Save on Shark Bite PEX fittings when buying in bulk. Plus, save time by ordering ahead online, and your order will be ready for pickup at our Pro Desk. So Pro, now that you know, let's get started. See the Lowe's Pro Desk or lowesforpros.com for more details.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof? I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. Well, what about you? I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782. Liberty did what? They saved me $782. Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Council.
Here is your 1-minute news brief from the source WOCA. 2 Gilchrist County deputy sheriffs were shot and killed yesterday in the Ace China restaurant in downtown Trenton after a suspect walked up to the business and shot both deputies through a window. The deputies were at the restaurant to eat and were not there responding to any crime. Marion County Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Heidi Mayer spoke to members of the school board yesterday, admonishing them in regards to actions perceived to be bullying and intimidating toward employees of the school district. Students plan to walk out of class today as a demonstration for changes in the country's gun laws. Marion County school officials say the day will be an opportunity for high school students to exchange ideas and opinions when it comes to school safety. And the Ocala City Council has approved plans to move ahead with the construction of a pavilion for the homeless. City officials say the pavilion is expected to cost around $500,000 and should be completed by October. And that is your news brief from The Source.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Friday, mostly sunny. Highs will range from 76 in the northernmost part of the zone to 85 in the south. Becoming mostly cloudy Friday night. There can be a shower or two along the coast. Low 59 over the interior north to 70 along the coast in the south. And for Saturday, periods of clouds and sun and breezy with a chance of a shower, especially along the coast. The high 75 at the coast, near 80 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Palm Garden announces Fast Track. Fast Track, focused assessment, safe transition. When a new guest is admitted to Palm Garden, we start with the ABCs. A is the assessment to determine what the guest needs. B is for basic care, which is excellent nursing and therapy. And C is for consistency to provide what's needed throughout the stay. Fast Track. Palm Garden will get you home fast, really, really fast. Take a fast tour of Palm Garden, located at the corner of Southwest 27th Avenue and 34th Street.
Howdy, folks. RL here for Dairy Queen again to tell you about what's hot and what's not. Dairy Queen has some of the best char-grilled chicken breasts on earth, as well as their chicken breast salad. And the burgers are exceptional, cooked on a real grill for the best flavor and less fat. And for dessert, blizzards are unequal. So personally, banana split is my all-time favorite. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Thank you, Ron. 25 minutes before 8 o'clock. Beautiful Friday morning. I hope you're doing well. Before we get into the news, let me take care of a little bit of business right here. We're going to tell you in just a little bit the horrible news out of Gilchrist County. And for those of you who are serving us in the police department and in the sheriff's office and even first responders, please know that we appreciate you, and please be careful out there. You know, there's a lot of really nutty, just stupid people out there. Just a lot of them. Just a lot of them. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm in a business that I'm blaming, not this station and not this show. And I don't even think the networks that we carry, but the media business at large, I think paints police officers as bad guys. I am sick and tired of it. I really think that's part of the problem. I know we don't want any regulation, we don't want any laws, and I don't either. But I wish somebody would come to their senses and realize that we need to stop supporting programs that do this. Whether it's a news program or a movie or a TV show, if it's making the police out to be the bad guy, then I think we need to just not support it by not buying things that the advertisers put on those shows, etc. Now, that's not to say that there aren't some bad apples, but that needs to be the exception. And it seems to me that we're really painting a bad picture of these men and women who have decided to put their lives on the line so that you and I can be a little safer and walk the streets a little more comfortably. It just sickens me. So, all right. So let's just jump into that. If you haven't already heard, if you don't know what I'm talking about, which I doubt, I'm sure you do. In Gilchrist County, Trenton, not that far away.
Yeah.
I think it's like between Williston and Cedar Key, somewhere over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 deputies went to eat. They went to eat. And some moron, I don't know what to call him, shoots them through the window of the restaurant. They were at the Ace China restaurant in Trenton, 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The 2 deputies, one is 29, one is 25. 29-year-old Sergeant Ramirez left behind a wife and 2 young children. He was a law enforcement officer for 7 years. The 25-year-old, oh my gosh, his life is just starting. The 25-year-old is Deputy Lindsay. What's his first name? Noel Lindsay. 25 years old. He was 3 years with the Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office. Anyway, I have some sound bites from this. This is the sheriff of that county. Let me see if I can find it here. Sheriff, what's his name again? Bobby Schultz. Sheriff Bobby Schultz. I don't even remember what this soundbite is. Stop. I just have to turn everything else off. I don't even remember what these sound bites are, so let me just go through them. This is Sheriff Bobby Schultz over in Gilchrist County.
I made contact with the families, and as you'd expect, you can never be prepared for something like this.
He said they were both, like I told you, shot and killed as they were eating. They went to a Chinese restaurant to eat.
Yeah.
To eat. Here's another soundbite from Sheriff Schultz.
I don't have answers to why this happened. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement will conclude and conduct their investigation at a time that they feel fit to release information.
Let's see if I have any more soundbites from him. I believe I do. He said he know. I think this is the one where he said he knew them personally.
I knew both of them personally, and I can sit here in front of all of you and tell you that I loved them.
You can just tell he's crying. Another soundbite from Sheriff Schultz.
The only thing these men were guilty of was wanting to protect you and me. They just wanted to go get something to eat, and they just wanted to do their job.
And here's another soundbite.
We'll honor these men by doing our jobs. We will honor them by doing what we're supposed to do, because that is what our Heavenly Father wants us to do, because to be a law enforcement officer is a calling. Without question, without reservation.
The Marion County Sheriff's Office, and I know a lot of other sheriff's office, and the police department probably, I hadn't seen that in writing, but I'm guessing they're all offering, obviously, condolences, and they're all offering help. This sheriff's office, by the way, in Gilchrist County only has 27 deputies. It's a very small county.
Oh, my.
Well, very small population. It's a big area.
Yeah.
But only 27 deputies are actually hired there. So they lost 2 out of 27. That's unbelievable. So yeah, I think the Marion County Sheriff's Office, a lot of them are saying, hey, if you need any help, we can send our guys over there to help. The other thing I heard, and I don't see that the sheriff is actually part of this, but as a way to honor them and recognize that we stand behind our police officers, our sheriff's officers,
our troopers.
Thank you. They're asking that we wear blue today. You did it, Robin. Did you wear blue for that reason? Did you know?
No, I did not.
See, I didn't know until I got
part.
here. And
I did not know.
I'm not a good clothing guy. But I mean, if you are a person who wears a name tag, if you're wearing a badge, a shield of some sort, then chances are you already are doing this, wearing either a black ribbon or a blue ribbon on your badge. But the rest of us are being asked if we want to show our support for our law enforcement to either wear blue or to wear a blue ribbon on your name tag. Like, I don't have it. I have a name tag, don't I, for this
Yeah, you do.
job?
You have one.
You lost yours at
yeah, on the
on a roller
Aerosmith
coaster.
ride.
Yeah.
On the Aerosmith ride, it was gone.
And we're not trying to be silly here. It's just you know what the sheriff said. He said we've got to live our lives. That's the best way to honor them, and so that's what we'll do here. But it's so. Does anybody agree with me with this? Does anybody agree that part of the problem, at least, is the culture that we have created with our media?
I think so. I really believe so.
And they make it out to be that the police are bad. Let me tell you something, if you believe that. I don't believe that anybody listening right now believes that. No, everybody knows that there's a bad apple in every organization. So just don't even come at me with the bad ones, because I know there are bad ones. But 99%, I'll just say that as a rough figure. I don't know the actual figure. I mean, these are good men and women, all right? Just trying to do a good job. The thing is, oh no, I lost my train of thought. But I guess going back to what I was trying to say is that I think we do this, and oh my gosh, we don't say anything. You know, we have these video games, and everybody comes down on me when I say this because they say, no, video games don't do that. My son played those video games, and he didn't turn out bad. Well, mine too. My son is beautiful and law-abiding and played those games too. But I'm telling you, some of these kids, they play these games and killing is just like second nature. It's no big deal because guess what? You restart the game, everybody's alive again.
Yeah.
You know, but I do think that some of these games and movies and TV shows do affect some of the population.
I think so.
I do think so. But this general attitude that we can spit on police. There's this general attitude, you know? There really is. And it started when we were young, Robin.
Yeah.
It started when we were young. My father was a policeman, and I can remember nobody called my father a pig, but I can remember in the news, in the media, in the arena that I loved, which was the music arena, the profession that I was really wanting to be a part of, I heard people in that, recording artists calling police officers pigs. Jane Fonda Come on.
She still is.
I mean, some of them would
bad.
hold up their fist thinking they're actually doing something. You know, they're not signing up for anything that's going to be threatening to their lives. They're not signing up for the military. They're not signing up for the police department. They're not signing up to even to be, a crossing guard for the most part. They just, come on. And then they'll get on, because they've got a TV show or record that's a hit or something. They'll get in front of the camera. They'll put their fist up. Yeah, the pigs. Come on.
Exactly.
How is it possible that we don't recognize good people as being good people? How is it possible? And you want to know something? I'm preaching to the choir. I know all of you already know this, so I don't mean to waste your time telling you what you already know, but I'm just, I guess, expressing my thoughts on this one.
You have to. You have to express your thoughts and stand up for what you believe in.
All right. I know you listen for the news. You want to hear things that have happened that maybe you didn't hear about, but I'm sorry. I just had to dwell on that one just for a little bit. I know we're all on the same page with that one.
No, this is absolutely horrible.
All right. So here's one. Okay. So the kids are walking out of school today all across the country. Today is the anniversary, the 19th anniversary of the Columbine high school shootings. It was April 20th, 1999. So they're using today's date because of that as a reason for walking out of class, even though a lot of this was decided after the Parkland shooting. And I'm not making fun of it. Look, the kids are trying to say we need to do something about this problem, and I am agreeing with them. We need to do something about this problem. But I wanted to ask you, kids, because I know the listeners probably, I know some of you probably disagree with this, but I think gun laws, I've said this before, if you do away with the Second Amendment, let's just do it across the board. If you get rid of the Second Amendment that says that the right to bear arms shall not be, what's the word, abridged?
I can't remember.
Right, whatever it is. In other words, it's in stone. You have a right to protect yourself. Mm-hmm. If we get rid of that, then how do we protect ourselves? I mean, if we take away the right to protect ourselves, in whatever way we feel is the best way to protect ourselves, then how do we protect ourselves?
Yeah, exactly. Because the bad guys are always going to get the guns.
Some of the kids seem to understand that we need to fortify the schools, make them stronger. I really hope these kids. This is the population that really loves music, because when we're that age, we loved music. We were that age, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if the music is as much a part of this. Maybe I just don't hear it though. Maybe that's it. But the movies do it, and the TV shows, the news maybe more than anything does it.
Yeah.
But I think part of this conversation has to be about that too. So.
It has to be. I mean, the students are making an effort to try to get other people to listen, and you can't, squash them before they're even allowed to project their own voice.
Another item in the news, Dr. Heidi Mayer is in the news because she gave a speech before the school board chastising them, admonishing them for, I guess, she's getting reports back that some of them are bullying members of the schools. I don't know who they're actually targeting, and she didn't name any individual school board member. But I think this is another thing. You see this in the news. You see it all the time. If you watch any of the local, like the school board meeting on the TV thing. Mm-hmm. I say TV thing. I mean the internet. That's what I watch it on. But anyway, they don't look like they like each other,
No, they don't.
So this is another area. We need to really fix this, You know what you need? You need me. This is what you need. You need me to be, I don't want to run for anything, but just kind of invite me over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, you know what? Even if I went over there, I couldn't change their minds.
No.
But really, I mean, I have figured out, and I think most of us have, how to get along with people that we don't get along with.
Right, exactly.
I think we have figured this out. So figure it out. Dr. Mayer has her hands full with that
Yeah, drop your egos, Marion County School Board. You know, you all can't be the star of the show. You have to work together for the good of everybody else, and you're not doing it.
Well, you might have nailed it on the head. It's the star of the show mentality. That might be across the board the problem everywhere.
Exactly.
Because everybody wants to be. Nobody wants to be a team that won anymore.
That's right.
You know, there's a good reason to really kind of elevate sports a little bit. Because sports teaches us this. You know, I was looking at this thing the other day. Fleetwood Mac. I know this is really trivial, but Fleetwood Mac fired Lindsey Buckingham. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, right.
Come on. Well, first of all, it's kind of silly because it's like, okay, they've kind of come and gone already.
Yeah, right.
But the point is, you know, this is a team. You know, and we're a team as a radio show. We're a team as a radio station.
Exactly.
You know, I don't know if any of you have ever noticed this. I wonder how many of you have ever noticed this. I wonder this. Have you ever noticed that Robin and I don't say our names? Yeah. I never say, hi, this is Larry Whitler, and I'm on the radio. I just did it down, but I don't do that.
Yeah, and I never say mine.
We don't do it. We don't do it. And the reason we don't do it is because we're part of this team. You know, Robin might address me as my first name, and I address her as her first name. Once in a while, I'll introduce Robin, usually when I'm just being silly. Mm-hmm. But I think you hit it on the head. I think the ego thing is part of what drives a lot of the problems we have in our culture.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a star, and either you're going to be famous or you're going to be infamous. Either way, you get on the front page.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You're going to be Billy the Kid, or you're going to be, you know, Roy Rogers. You know, you're going to be one of those stars, either the bad guy or the good guy.
Exactly.
And everybody has to have their ego filled. I think you're right, Robin.
Yep. That's the problem.
This is the call-in part of the show. I want to make sure I don't forget that. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, this is Jim.
Hey, Jim.
I appreciate your covering this item about the 2 law enforcement officers that were killed. My son is a career law enforcement officer over in Chiefland, Florida, which is just an adjoining county. He personally knew both these guys. He's been a law enforcement officer since he was 19 years old. He started working as a dispatcher in the jail because he's too young to be certified. He's worked his way up for all these years. He's the community relations officer. He's in charge of the school resource officers, and he's officer friendly. He's the guy that you see with any school activities. He's been taking a group of school patrol and other students to Washington, D.C. for 18 years in a row. Trenton's not that far away.
No.
There's Gainesville, there's Newberry, and then there's Trenton.
Yeah.
And then going on Highway 26 is the next is Fanning Springs at the river. So, you know, it's very close to us.
Yeah.
Sure. And this is very near my heart, naturally, because I have other friends right here in Ocala and the Marion County area, many in our own church that are law enforcement officers. Many are good, close friends of 25 years or more. I think that you nailed it. I think it could boil down to a lack of respect for authority from the president right on down.
Yes, absolutely. You are correct.
These are public service officers.
Yeah.
They're probably some of the lowest paid servants in any occupation.
Yeah.
And as Sheriff Bobby Schultz said, you have to be, this is a commitment, a calling. Not everybody is, I couldn't do that. I'm sure you couldn't either.
Right, absolutely.
You have to be mentally and spiritually and physically committed to this job, because your whole family and your whole circle of friends are going to be affected by that. And you have to know that going on.
Yeah.
This was a senseless thing. These guys were sitting down, taking a break, having what would amount to their lunch. and a senseless old guy shot him through the window.
That's right.
There's just no sense to it. Just like the students are wanting to blame gun control. I have a armload of guns. None of my guns have ever shot anybody.
That's right.
Guns don't kill people. It's nuts that kill people.
Yeah.
I'm all for qualifying people to own a firearm or to purchase a firearm, but we have enough laws in place. But laws don't control crazy people.
That's right. And you know
so
that.
We need to concentrate on where the cause is, not weapons. Weapons aren't doing this.
Well,
when I went to school, almost every pickup truck in the parking lot at school had a rifle or a shotgun in a rack in the back window. And we never had one shooting. Nobody ever thought about shooting anybody.
Right.
If you had a problem, you worked it out with your fist or through the office officials at the schools. I'm sorry to run on about this, but this is very, very near and dear to my heart. I think that you and others in the media should begin to concentrate on the thing that you're doing this very day. Is calling the thing what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. No.
We got to learn to get along.
You hit it on the head.
Without shooting each other.
That's right. You are so right. Exactly right. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, our prayers for your son. Let's hope he stays safe.
Yeah, I do that every day.
Yes, I'm
for
sure.
all law enforcement officers.
Yeah.
You know, our first responders deserve our honor and our respect and our support in any way that we possibly can do it. My heart goes out to the families of those young men, 25 and 29 years old.
Yeah.
Their whole life ahead, they leave families, children and wives, mothers and fathers and brothers, sisters. Just got a hole in their heart today. Thank you for your interest in it.
No, thank you. You couldn't have. We couldn't have had a better speaker than what you just did just there. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for coming on to talk to us.
Thank you for what you all do every day there.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, and you know the difficult thing for Robin and I is that we approach this show as a way to give everybody who listens to it something that gives you information as well as something that lightens up your day. I mean, that's really what we do. We are not political analysts like a Rush Limbaugh. We're entertainers, and we've never said anything else, and we don't pretend to be anything else. But we're also citizens of this county, of this state, of this country, and we're also parents. Robin has 2 children. I have a son and I have a stepdaughter, and just it's just the challenge is doing the show and trying to adhere to the flavor that we like it to be. But when you wake up and you see a story like, well, we knew this one before we went to bed last night, but when you have this kind of a story to report, there's no way. There's no way. I suppose if we were doing a 1-hour show on a network, we would just do. I don't know. I think we'd do the same thing, though. To be honest with you,
we would.
I don't think we'd be any different.
We're never false.
But I do think that we need to start thinking in terms of a team. The kids that are trying to discuss today what can be done to protect our schools, I want you to talk about. They're not listening to me, but if somebody can get this word to them, I want them to talk about the guns because they think that's the problem. And I want them to ask themselves the question, what would we use to protect ourselves if we didn't have the Second Amendment? What would we use? What would you use? Mm-hmm. And what would the bad guys use if things were against the law. They would use the very things that you can't get legally, if you couldn't get legally if it was made against the law.
Exactly.
But you also have to discuss this. I mean, you're in a place where bullying seems to be very popular, very common. You need to figure out a way to make it disgraceful to be a bully. You need to figure out a way to make it disgraceful to badmouth people who are trying to do a good job. You need to disgrace people who speak badly about the police at large, in general. Now, if there's one officer that needs to be spoken bad about, that's okay. But we need to disgrace people who bully one another. We need to disgrace people who badmouth the president just because he's not their party. Now, if the president does something wrong, good. Then we say something. Mm-hmm. But don't just say it blatant. Don't call anybody a racist without any real... Sorry, just a second. Just without any real evidence that a person is a racist. It's a horrible thing to call somebody.
It is. It's horrible.
Don't make somebody feel bad for who they are. Respect somebody. Everybody. And I'm talking to the choir here. I know you all know that. I just hope these kids get this message, because they are the future and they need to figure out what the real problem is.
Yeah.
And you want to know something? Those kids that go to church, a good church, one that really teaches the real truth about things, they get it. They're being told this all the time. I mean, they're being told, respect one another. They're being told, love your neighbor. They're being told. So, and then they're the ones who are being made fun of. And the media does this. This is the craziest thing. The one thing that probably teaches us all to be respectful of one another is religion.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that the media seems to make fun of all the time and seems to put down and it is condescending towards. Right?
Exactly.
I mean, isn't it crazy how the one man, Jesus Christ, that came to this planet, and if no matter what you look at, you don't find that he did anything wrong. Okay, maybe you don't want to accept that he is the Son of God. Maybe you don't want to do that. That's your prerogative. Okay? But if you're going to put up on a pedestal people who've done good for this world, people who've said wise things and intelligent things and given us good guidance, then don't leave him out. Look at everything he said. And tell me that he wasn't a great leader. Tell me he didn't change the course of humanity for the better. But you in the media, oh my gosh, you're doing the same thing I'm doing. You have a microphone. And you think somehow that you know better than Jesus Christ? Come on. How old are you? 20? 30? 40? Even if you're 60, guess what you were doing 60 years ago? You were pooping in your pants. Don't tell me that in 60 years you learned more than God. Don't tell me that. You know what I think? I think God gives every one of his creatures exactly what they need to survive. Exactly what they need. A beaver knows exactly what to do. How to get food. How to build shelter. A bird knows exactly what to do. So why would he treat us any differently? He has given us exactly what we need and exactly what we need to know in order to survive. That means there's a lot more to know. There's a lot more to know. The one thing they say in church all the time is the peace that surpasses all understanding, because we don't understand it all. So stop pretending that you do. Stop trying to tell me that you know more than the creator of the universe. Just stop it. Because I'm never telling you I know more than God. Why are they telling me this all the time, Robin? Why do they do that?
I know.
I just blew off the news. All right, we'll take a little break. I will try to do an entertaining show. Galen, will be up in just a little bit. We'll take a little break right now, and we'll be back. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Say something and maybe modify it from 6 months to
Look around that yard. You could probably use a tree or two, couldn't you? That means a trip to everyone's favorite tree place, Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. This week at Bob Wine's, you get 1/3 to 2/3 off any tree in stock. And that includes a huge selection too long to list here. This is the real deal on trees at Bob Wine's. Suppose you need some color for your yard. The answer again, Bob Wine's for hydrangea, more than you can imagine in one place. And of course, those gorgeously blooming azaleas, including the area's largest selection of encore azaleas. They keep blooming all year round. Hanging baskets large and small, buy one for $14.99, get a second one for half price. Spring veggies unbelievably priced at just 99 cents in the 4-pack. The place, Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, just east of Lake Weir Avenue, daily till 4:30, Saturday till 3 in the same blooming place since 1952.
Here is your 1-minute news brief from The Source, WOCA. 2 Gilchrist County deputy sheriffs were shot and killed yesterday in the Ace China restaurant in downtown Trenton after a suspect walked up to the business and shot both deputies through a window. The deputies were at the restaurant to eat and were not there responding to any crime. Marion County Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Heidi Mayer spoke to members of the school board yesterday, admonishing them in regards to actions perceived to be bullying and intimidating toward employees of the school district. Students plan to walk out of class today as a demonstration for changes in the country's gun laws. Marion County school officials say the day will be an opportunity for high school students to exchange ideas and opinions when it comes to school safety. And the Ocala City Council has approved plans to move ahead with the construction of a pavilion for the homeless. City officials say the pavilion is expected to cost around $500,000 and should be completed by October. And that is your news brief from The Source.
All right, 6 minutes after 8 o'clock, 62 degrees. Temperatures are expected to reach 75 today with partly cloudy skies. Lows tonight around 61. The weekend looks like it's going to be mostly cloudy both Saturday and Sunday with highs not quite 80 degrees. 77 on Saturday, 78 on Sunday. That's the forecast anyway. 63, 65 are the 2 temperatures for the overnight lows. So what it is today pretty much is what it's going to be the whole weekend. Then Monday, some rain in the form of possibly thunderstorms, and that rain should last through Tuesday. So Monday and Tuesday look like rainy days, and then Wednesday back to kind of what it is today. Galen Unold is on the phone from Life South Community Blood Center. Hey, Galen.
Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin. How are you all?
Good. Where are you right now?
I'm in Ocala today.
Yeah, I went long with the last segment because I got... it's just trying to figure out everything, I guess, and just talking off the cuff about the shooting in Trenton and the kids trying to decide what to do about the schools with the guns and all that. And I don't know. Just I don't know. Were you listening at all?
I heard the tail end, and I mean, we've had several talks. My son's a junior in high school, and this is kind of hit him And I just have to remind him, and because we had a long talk, I said, look, and I know it sounds very cliche, but just guns don't kill people. People kill people, and people die from a lot of different things. And banning guns isn't going to change that. I mean, now in London they're banning knives. I mean, that's not the solution. But the one thing that we should all agree on is how we treat, the people that put their lives in front of those people who want to kill us, including, cops. And I think the sheriff yesterday said it really succinctly. He said, we'll never know why he would do something like this.
Right.
But I do believe, and I think he's right, that this whole tenure that, cops, should be shot, and we need to, take them on as if they're the bad guy. I think that kind of, this talk, it's not even a discussion, this kind of rhetoric is got to be an impact. right? I mean, I equate it to this. There was a while there, in the late 70s, all the way up until, the mid 80s, where the military was viewed as the same thing as this, can't be trusted. They should be looked down upon. They should be shunned. And we've turned around to, they're recognized as the hero that they are. And I think that same kind of focus is being put on cops in a negative way and all police force. And I just think it's completely wrong. But, until our own leadership within our country believe that cops are really good and they continue to stand up for them on both sides of the aisle, police officers should not be political. It shouldn't be a political statement whether or not you believe that police do the right thing. Yeah. And I also believe that they deserve to be trusted until they're not. So I'm always going to take a police officer's word over a civilian's word because he's trained at it. He's trained at how to do things, how to observe, how to interact with people, and he does it on a constant basis. Now, once we've identified them as a bad guy, then they need to be, enforced. Then they need to be taken to the full extent of the law.
Yep.
That's the bottom line. But there's obviously these guys in Trenton. You don't go to Trenton to be in crime syndicate. I mean, we have blood drives there all the time. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in that community. It's a phenomenal place. They have a great baseball team, by the way. Their high school baseball team is one of the best in the country. And it's sad that this little sleepy town, which is really a bedroom community for Gainesville, of all things, is now being put on the map for something as this atrocious. And it's going to rip that community apart, because I guarantee you every person in that small little town knew these two individuals. Right. Not just knew somebody who knew them, but knew them. Knew these two guys personally, and that can. This is a big problem. So.
Yeah. Only 27 deputies serve Gilchrist County.
Yeah,
and that's something.
It's tiny. It's a tiny little town. I mean, there's no reason for it to be larger than that. And I will say this, as far as the standing up for guns, and my son's going to be a part of it. I know his girlfriend's going to be making a speech at Vanguard, and it's very important for them that they discuss it. And I asked him what his views are, and I said, so, well, how do you feel about it? He goes, well, I don't think you should be able to purchase a gun until you're 21. And I said, well, you can't purchase a gun until a handgun until you're 21 in most states already. But I just want to make sure that he understands the ramifications of his views and how that could be pushed on down the line. So, and what that would mean on the backside of something like that.
Right. And listening to you talk now, and of course knowing you for all these years, and knowing your wife through you, if every parent, every set of parents raised their children the way you and your wife have raised your boys, including making sure that they have an understanding of what church is about, then I think this world will be a lot better. I just think. But what I just said right there, if I had a national microphone, I would be in the news tomorrow and chastised and be spoken down about because I brought the word church into this conversation. They don't want that. They think that's the bad guy. They actually believe that somehow a belief in Jesus Christ is the reason for the problems in this world. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how that happened.
Pastor Tim says this all the time at Meadowbrook Church, and he says, church done right is the light of the world. It's so true. So true.
Church done right is the light of the world? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's right. Church done right is the light of the world.
Go. I believe. I agree.
And again, we have church not done right where it becomes religious.
Right.
But church done right, when you just take the teachings of Jesus Christ, and I'll be honest with you, if you take the teachings of Buddha, I mean, there's a lot of peace and love in that, and the same with Judaism.
Right.
You know, do you have to treat others kindly? But I try to always stay away from like the moral fabric of our country has fallen apart. But until fathers are treated with respect, we're going to continue to have this problem too.
Okay, but here,
until fathers are deemed.
That's right. You hit on a good thing there. That's absolutely true too. Yeah.
Fathers, if you look in our society, fathers are extremely underrated. They're not valued. You know, you look at our pop culture, you look at our everyday society, fathers are looked down upon. If a father engages with their child, they're like, oh, well, where's your wife? Or, you know,
exactly.
They call things like teen mom instead of teen parent. I went to, and I'll always remember this. So my son's in kindergarten and I go and spend the day. Sorry. So I go and spend the day with him because it's a parent day. And the teacher goes, oh, okay, come on, moms. Well, I'm a dad.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, why can't the dad play that role? If you want the whole, you know, women's rights, then a man should have the right to be a part of his child's life every single day. And men need to continue to fight for that. And stand up and take the responsibility.
And I'm going to tell you this, that the listening audience to this right now is on your side. They understand, and I think they represent most of America. It is the media that does this. They want us to look like they think men are the Family Guy. Okay?
Yeah, you're buffoons.
Sure.
We're buffoons. They think we're Archie Bunker.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
And that's part of the problem too. And as far as yes, the other religions do teach to be peaceful as well, but the media doesn't ever speak condescendingly about Buddhism. They never speak condescendingly about Islam. They never speak. The only one they ever chastise is Christianity.
Yeah, so wrong.
No, you're exactly right. And again, as a society and as a group, we have to really start to take control over that in some way, shape, or form, and make sure that things that we consume represent our values.
That's it. Yes, that's exactly right. If my favorite coffee is being advertised by some schmuck who wants to spell the messages that we're just talking about, then I guess I have to give up that coffee.
Yeah.
Darn right.
For sure.
Darn right. And I'm not here to call for anybody's job or any company to shut down, because I don't think that's very productive.
No, we won't shut them down. You just get them to change who they advertise with.
I'll give you a perfect example of what you're talking about. So Chick-fil-A opened up in New York, right, in New York City in Times Square. And there was a huge boycott of Chick-fil-A.
That's crazy.
Right, because they're a family-owned business, and the Cathys are very, Christian. My nephew works there. My sons have gotten a chance to tour it and talk to some of the Cathys, and they believe in Jesus Christ, and therefore they're dispersed. Why can't they just make a really good chicken sandwich? Their chicken sandwiches are phenomenal. Why can't it just be that it's tasty? Or Hobby Lobby doesn't want to pay for abortion, so they're chastised, and people want to boycott them.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
And they're both closed on Sunday.
Right. Nobody said that they couldn't. They just don't want to pay for it because it's against their moral values. So, I'm preaching to the choir. I know that. But
no, you are. But
once you get started on something like that, you just get fired up.
But I want to tell you something, just because of the New York part of the Chick-fil-A story. As a New Yorker, a former New Yorker, whatever, and I'm still in touch with New York, I really don't think that what the news showed reflected New York at large. I really don't. Come on. You know what a New York, You know what a New Yorker says? Oh, cool, there's a Chick-fil-A on the corner.
Yeah.
That's all he says.
Right.
Oh, cool, I love Chick-fil-A. I'm going to go get a sandwich. What are these people holding signs for? I'm going to go. I guarantee that what the news showed and what the reality was two different things. I guarantee it.
Of course.
And who's the first to respond when there's trouble? You know what I mean? The Chick-fil-A. So, yeah. They're the first people to respond as a community to the Pulse nightclub. They were there giving everybody there free chicken sandwiches. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm missing it.
Yeah, I'm missing it too. I don't get it, but I do think that once again, the news media took a microscope and showed us a tiny little portion of what was going on and kind of shielded our eyes from the guy who said, oh, I'm going to go get this. I'm going to go get a sandwich. You know, when I was in Washington, D.C. with Alex when he was little, and this is not a religious incident, but there were these people who were boycotting or what do you want to say, not boycotting, but wanting a boycott of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile because they don't like people eating meat.
Yeah.
And so they had pictures up all over the place of slaughtered animals, and they had like they do in the cowboy days. They would circle the wagon. They were walking around this what do you call it? Not Chick-fil-A.
The Wienermobile.
The Oscar Mayer thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Wienermobile.
Wienermobile.
They were walking around. And I said, Alex, you want a hot dog?
That's right.
Yeah. So I said, excuse me, and we walked in. And now we have like a wall of people behind us, and we order our hot dogs, and the guy was selling these little whistles. So I said, cool, I'll buy a whistle. Looks like a hot dog.
Yeah, those are cool.
So we bought 2 whistles. We blew them. My son thought it was the funniest thing to walk through this through this picket line. I said, don't worry, I'm bigger than all of them.
Yeah, so. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's amazing. They chastise and the very people who are there to protect them in so many different ways. So I've just been praying for all those people in Gilchrist County.
Yeah, I am too. And to that point, and to bring back the church into that point, the church is doing the same thing. The church is trying to reach out to the guy sitting in the third row who's been thinking about committing suicide. The church is trying to reach out to the guy in the back row who's thinking about bombing a church, okay, or killing his mother or a mother-in-law. Guy, they're talking to those people. Everybody knows. Nobody goes into a restaurant full, and nobody goes into a church if they feel they don't need salvation. You go into there because you feel like you do. You do need God on your side.
Right.
This drives me nuts. And if we had a national talk show, Galen, if we were Glenn Beck, you know how many people would be making fun of us right now just for having this conversation?
Yeah, they sure would.
Oh, we just need to stand just to continue to be that silent majority and to continue to.
I think yes.
I think it's a perfect example of what we saw in that election. You have, the presidential election. You have, certain parts of the country going absolutely crazy over it, and the other half is like, yeah, I voted for him. Yeah, because now I haven't met a single person who believes that in everything our president says and believes in everything that he does, especially when he picks up his phone and gets on Twitter. But, when an election is a choice, you have a choice between 2 or 4 candidates, and you make the best decision that you think's best for you and your family. I think that was represented in this year's election.
All right, if you go with your wife to the pet shop or to the dog pound or whatever, and the whole reason you're there is to get a dog to protect the house, right?
Right.
And the 2 choices are this big old sloppy Great Dane, right, or this cute little poodle. And I'm not saying Hillary was cute, but I'm trying to use this as a metaphor between Hillary and Trump. Well, he might be sloppy, but I bet you he's going to guard that front door a little bit better,
Sure.
And so that's it. I mean, that's the thinking. We just want something. Come on, protect us. The world is crazy. We want to keep what we've got. So.
Well, we want somebody who's going to your point, we want somebody who's going to stand up for our ideals and what we think America is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And not what people want it to be. And going back to circle back, and the Second Amendment is part of what this country is. We're the only country on planet Earth that has an amendment where the citizens have a right to bear arms.
A right to protect yourself, right.
Right, and not just protect yourself, but to protect your family from tyranny of the government.
Yes.
And you know, and if you really believe that our president is a tyrant, then wouldn't you want to arm yourself in case they come and get you?
Right.
You know, the first thing dictators do is to take they unarm their citizens and say, "Let me protect you."
That's right. That's exactly
you
right.
know, and the Bible says you need to protect yourself. You need to take care of you and your family first.
Yeah,
close the churches.
And I know, right? Close the churches, and I know that we all know this. Gosh, my brain is just all over the place. So I just forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, so.
Well, you made a very important point, though, Galen. You said what people want it to be. And this is America. Sure. This is the United States. So when people come over here, they need to show respect that this is America. They need to, you know, follow our rules. They can still have their culture and their heritage, but they can't force it on the people that are here in America. We need to live together.
You know, I interact with a lot of immigrants and first generation, you know, citizens. I mean, I honestly do. I interact with a lot of them through my sons and through work and everything else. And everyone that I've ever met had a personal conversation. They came to this country because it was better than what they had. And they believed that if they got here, their life could be, you know, everything that's supposed to be. They would have all these freedoms, and they talk about it, and they love this country. It's a very small minority, and the people who come here illegally, who don't necessarily believe that you know you need to do things the right way.
Exactly.
I haven't had any conversations with them, but you know, you ask anybody who says, "Oh, we could do so much better." Okay, well, name a better place. We could all do better, but there is no better place in this country. You could be in the worst city in the United States, and it's better than 99% of the rest of the world.
You probably didn't hear. Yesterday we had two pilots in here that were promoting an event over at the Ocala airport, and they were talking about flying in America versus flying anywhere else in the world. And I asked them if they did fly in other countries, and yes, they did. And in other countries that are considered free countries, too. In this country, you can fly anywhere you want to fly.
Sure can.
I mean, all you have to do is follow the simple rule of letting the tower know where you are.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. Let them know where you are and when you're coming. Everywhere else, you have to get permission. They give you the third degree. Why are you going? You know, who are you going to see?
Right.
And that's to protect you in case something happens. They know where to find you. Yeah.
But Ashley Messenger and Sky Storms, and they were both in, and they are marvelous, and they're veterans, and they're marvelous men.
Yeah.
Free speech is something that we talk about all the time in this country, and we sometimes take it for granted. But in every other country in the world, there's no such thing. It's the only one that's a part of our Constitution. It's the fabric of our society. In other countries, you know, if they deem it as hate speech, you could go to jail, and that's including in England and in Canada. Now, if you use the wrong pronoun, you can go to jail.
Right.
That's right. You know, and I love my Canadians, but I'm so shocked by that.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, good stuff, Galen. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Sure.
We have to do our job here. How's the blood supply? Where's the bloodmobile?
Well, the blood supply, again, we're kind of where we were at yesterday. We're just right there at a 4-day blood supply. We're in emergency need of Type O. I know we're having blood drives all over the place for this fallen officer, especially in the Alachua County area because there's such a strong connection there. But please get out there, give the gift of life, and donate blood. And you just never know when a tragedy is going to hit our community, and we're going to need it. So just please, just be a part of this community and donate blood.
Yeah.
And the Life South Community Blood Centers, you guys work long hours. I was at my mom's last night, and I left her place at 10 after 9, and the bloodmobile was just pulling into Life South. So you guys are there all the time.
I told them I would tell you. I told them I would tell you that they need a raise.
Yes. Exactly.
I don't have that kind of pull over that.
Well, how about a trophy? How about some kind of a token of
appreciation? We do give out trophies every year, every quarter. So to the best performer, we do everything we can.
Nice.
It's a tough job.
Hey.
There is no doubt about it. It's a tough job.
The weekend is here. Have a good weekend, Galen. Thank you. Palm Garden, Ocala, and Penn Flooring. I'll do a real brief fly through this one. If you need health and rehabilitative services or someone you love needs that, you want to go someplace where the people are knowledgeable and where they're good and where they're skilled and where they have 21st century technology, go to Palm Garden. That's my recommendation. Take a tour, find out for yourself. Palm Garden is at 2700 Southwest 34th Street. And if you're looking for some flooring for your home or your office, go to Penn Flooring. They've got a showroom. You can see for yourself why we chose Penn Flooring for our floor here at the radio station. They're at 1201 Southwest 17th Street. Galen, have a great day. Thank you for what you do and for what you said today. Good stuff.
Hey, thank you guys for the opportunity, and get out there, give the gift of life, and donate blood.
Donate blood. Thank you, Galen. All right, we'll take a little break, and we will be right back. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Palm Garden announces Fast Track. Fast Track, focused assessment, safe transition. When a new guest is admitted to Palm Garden, we start with the ABC.